In past episodes, we have highlighted SCC producers and their show. In this episode, we chose to speak with John Wykoff, producer of Race Night, and has been with SCC for the past 3 years. Take a look at what he had to say.
Well, my name is John Wykoff, and I've been a TV producer here at SCC TV now for 3 years. And I have a TV show called Race Night. I have been producing this show now for 3 years. But before that, I used to take Super 8 movie film and 16 millimeter film at racetracks from around the country. I pretty much do everything. I am the show producer. I come up with an idea, a theme, something different for the viewers to watch. And so I'll do the camera, I'll do the driver interview. Sometimes I'll have others do the interview, whatever I think. It's not a show about John Wykoff. It's a show about auto racing.
13 laps tonight with our 11 heat races with the B modifieds as we start to string things off. Triple wide, run off the bat for third.
Have some contact at the east end of the speedway, turns 1 and 2 as a couple of our drivers were getting together, man on the move, or at least trying to be on the move.
My parents brought me to the races years ago, probably when I was about 3 years old was the first time that I ever went to a race. And I found it so exciting. It was not only the noise and the talking and the laughing and the enjoyment, it was all the friendship and friends that we made and the experiences. And then there, in auto racing, there is the smells of burning rubber and fuel, and it's just a wonderful thing to gather all that information up and watch the race cars go. And so that's how I got so into wanting to do a TV show called Race Night. I thought I could fulfill all those things I talked and saw in my past. One of the biggest reasons for doing Race Night was to do local auto racing. Because when you turn on the TV today, we see sports channels. They're doing NASCAR, they're doing Indianapolis, they're doing kart, they're doing the drag race scene. And so many of the national TV shows are covering national events, the big events. But what about the local scene? What about the backbone of the auto racing world, which happens to be the home track people all across the United States? People ever think about what happens on a Saturday night across the United States? Well, a lot of people are at the races, and they bring their kids, and they bring the ma's and pa's, and you hear stories up in the grandstand about, remember what happened at the Minnesota State Fair when it was dirt, and you hear stories about Rex Speedway and Twin City Speedway, and that's why I go too, is to hear these stories from old veterans from the past that remember all these things that happened, and it's just great to hear those things. I want to give the public a different view of a different type of race car. We want to go to the tracks that have the big payoffs, all the race cars, all the crowd. We want to catch the whole entire thing, all the excitement, the electricity, everything about that race. We want to catch it. We want to see the people, what they're eating, the people cheering, and the victor, the man that wins the final race. Coming to SCC TV and what they did for me, they answered all the questions that I always had about how do you do things. I've learned a lot since it began, and many things that are very exciting to me, and things that I had questions about I now have the answers to. The most surprising thing for doing my own show is others watching my show and giving me a call after the show has been aired, and they tell me, "You did that? You did that show all yourself?" And I had so many people that doubted that I could do such a thing, but I have done many shows so far. I think I've done close to 40 shows here at SCC TV, and I'm very proud of them, and I've learned from every one of them, and each show gets better. That's the important thing. I felt really great when I heard my name mentioned for winning Volunteer of the Year Award for 2012. It made me feel that all the things I did for my friends had a reward to it, but I would have done it anyway. They make it here at the studio as easy as you can do. You can take notes, you can write things down so you can remember them. But it is, that is the hardest thing, is putting it all together, figuring out how the ending's gonna be, and then your beginning, and how you're telling a story. And to tell the story, here's what's gonna happen today, and here's why we're doing it, and the final outcome is gonna be this. And it's so a wonderful thing to be able to put together a show that comes out very good when it's all done. It's been a wonderful time here, and I've really learned a lot. I love it when I can learn and be successful. Yes, things do go wrong, and sometimes you do have to do things over again, but you know, the second time you do it, it's even more of a learning factor than the first time you did it. That time you will not forget, and you will do it right the second time. So yes, it's true, you will make some mistakes here, but it's worth it in the end. It really is. I think that other people should come to SCC like I did. And the reason is because so many things that you weren't quite sure about, that you didn't think you could do, you can do. Because I had other people that told me, one that I can think of, he said, you can't do it. No way can you do it. You can't do this show. You can't do it. You're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I proved him wrong, and I'm on, like again, I've said it before, I'm on my 40th show. I feel so positive. Now when I come to SCC studio, I can do what I say I can do. Welcome to Race Night, where the rubber meets the racetrack. I'm the show host they call Boyd. We have found lost film footage found in closets from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We have auto racing highlights of late model sprint cars, midgets, and Indy cars. And we're also going to interview heroes from the past and the present, and we got local. I would find something that really does interest you, and things that you can teach the public about, because that's what it's about. You're the teacher, you're doing the show, and I think there should be a story and a subject, and there should be an ending. And when the ending comes, you have the credits like you see on a regular TV show. And so when you put all those things together, it should be a compact package and end up being a great thing. And all these things will take time, and you will get good at it as time goes on. The question has come to me many times from fans who have watched Race Night: have you always been a race fan? And that's the question, and the answer is yes, I've always been a race fan. And there's so many more parts to auto racing in the world today, and the things that it takes to make these cars go fast, and the sponsorship, and the people that race them, and who can drive this car and who can't. There's so many things involved today that it's a complex situations we see in NASCAR today. People are jumping from one car to another. I love when I have a race fan that wasn't a race fan before Race Night, and now when they're watching Race Night, I get calls and emails from people saying, well, we weren't a racing fan before, but we're a racing fan now, and we're really glad we saw Race Night, because it reignited, either they were old race fans or they never were race fans. And so now they said we have something to do on Saturday night, and so we're going to watch Race Night and find out what's happening in the area.